It's February 6th. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. Today I'd like to talk about presumption with respect to what the Virginia government is now doing to the Virginia Military Institute and make a connection to federal taxation. Let me start by stating plainly what is happening. The Commonwealth of Virginia, with the new administration mere weeks into its operation, is moving to dismantle or fundamentally restructure the governance of the Virginia Military Institute, or VMI. This is not because a court found VMI guilty of wrongdoing. It is not because a law was violated. It is not because VMI lost accreditation or federal authority in any way. It is happening because the current government has decided VMI does not sufficiently align with its ideological expectations. Two bills make this clear. House Bill 1374 would strip VMI of its independent board of visitors and place it under external control. House Bill 1377 would create a task force to decide whether VMI should even remain a publicly funded institution. That is not routine oversight. That is existential pressure applied without a single adjudicated finding of illegality. And this is where the problem begins. In a free society, the burden is always on the government. If the government wants to punish, restructure, or defund an institution, it must first prove that it has jurisdiction, that clear standards were violated, and that consequences are justified. Virginia has done none of that. Instead, it is governing by presumption. Sound familiar? Presumption says you are already at fault. You must prove you deserve to exist. You must comply first, and we will justify it later. That is not lawful authority. That is coercion. It is fraud. Lawful authority follows a clear order. First, prove jurisdiction. Second, define the standard. Third, prove the violation. Fourth, apply the consequences. Virginia has reversed that order. Consequences first, narratives second, proof never. Now let's be clear about what VMI is being pressured to comply with at this point. This is not about statutes. It is about DEI and inclusivity expectations as defined by the current political leadership. There is no law requiring VMI to adopt a specific DEI framework. There is no statute authorizing the dismantling of governance for failing to meet ideological benchmarks. Yet the message is simple. Align with our vision or we will take control. And notice this. There was no neutral statewide standard being applied across all universities. VMI is being singled out because it is disciplined, conservative, and resistant to ideological capture. That selective targeting tells you that this is not about law, it's about alignment. And if this feels familiar, it should, because this is the same presumption used in federal taxation. In tax enforcement, the government does not begin by proving jurisdiction or liability. It begins with a presumption. You are presumed to owe. You are presumed to be subject. Once that presumption is in place, the burden flips. Now you must disprove liability. Now you must defend yourself. That same logic is being applied to VMI. Show us you deserve funding. Show us you deserve independence. Show us you've changed enough. That is administration by presumption. History warns us where this leads. Systems of domination, slavery being the clearest example, were sustained not just by force, but by the presumption that power did not need to justify itself. No one is saying today is the same degree with respect to Virginia and VMI, but the mechanism is the same whenever authority presumes instead of proves. Obedience compelled by dependency rather than legitimacy. And finally, remember this. VMI is not just another college. It trains military officers. It contributes to national defense. Using presumption and ideological pressure to destabilize such an institution is not reform. It is reckless governance. This is not an argument against change. It is an argument against unchecked authority. The burden belongs to the government of Virginia, always. And right now, Virginia is refusing to carry that burden or comply with it. And as always, may truth reign supreme.